Hi, everybody. It's me, Buck, and my friend Amy.
Hi.
And I've been in therapy for a very long time, and I'm just starting with a new psychiatrist and new medication. And Amy has
Yay.
been a therapist for what?
It's like 35 years. It's a long time.
That's a long.
It's a very long time. Yeah.
That's a lot of patients. That's a lot of
It's a lot
clients.
of patience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a lot. Um, so we're going to begin our series on different emotions. Today we're going to start with anger, but first, Amy, what was your dysfunction of the week?
Well, I think I've discovered that I'm lactose intolerant because I was having a lot of stomach issues and all that entails. And I was going, wow, I hope this isn't like an MS thing that's just going to be a forever thing because it's not sustainable for me to have this many tummy problems. And so yesterday I was like, okay, no milk. I mean, a couple of days I've been like, no milk products, no dairy. I want to see if I eliminate something if that will help. No excessive bathroom trips, no heartburn kind of feelings, no like just achy tummy.
Right.
So, and then today I had cereal and milk, and what do you know? Heartburn, bathroom, achy tummy.
Oh,
So I'm pretty sure that's lactose intolerance. And I'm sad because I really like milk products, but
we
I
grew up
have to
in
function.
Missouri.
Yeah, where we have milk
Yeah,
and
Central
cows,
Dairy.
got cows. Lots of cows. There's cows. Yeah.
Central
Cows and
Dairy.
pigs. Pigs have a different, if you're driving through the country, you know if you're in cow territory or pig territory based on the smells.
Yeah, I know. Based on the smell. I know, I know.
Yeah, yeah, because pig territory is really not pleasant.
But
Cow's not either,
I
but
remember
but
when we
pigs are
used
worse.
to have the milk box on the front porch,
Yeah, oh, me too.
and they would come and they would,
Central Dairy.
yeah, Central
Yeah,
Dairy would come and they would give you new milk
leave the milk in the
in the
box. Yep,
glass.
I do too.
Yeah, in the glass, which was really
Yep,
nice. And
and it was good
yogurt,
milk.
cottage cheese,
Yep.
that was great.
Hey, and they used to have like ice cream starter. So like homemade ice cream. So if you wanted homemade ice cream, they had the you didn't have to like make the whole custard mixture and whatever. You used to be able to just buy it and put it in the ice cream mixer with the ice
Right.
and that was it. It was great and it's the best. It's the
Yeah.
best ice cream ever.
Yeah. Yeah. My mother bought one of those ice cream makers. I think we used it twice.
Ugh,
They didn't have the patience for it.
yeah.
My mother was all for getting it. And then you know, it's like the popcorn
Yeah.
maker that we got.
Yeah. We
We
had one
used
of
it
those
like
too.
once.
We used to all of those. We used to have our church used to have ice cream socials, and so we would have like homemade ice cream, and we would all take turns because they didn't have the electric ones at the time. You had to churn it, churn it, churn it. So all the kids would take turns churning up the ice cream,
Right.
so that we could have like it would be banana and vanilla and chocolate and stuff like that. It was really good.
Cool.
Just everybody came and we ate ice cream and played outdoor games, and it was great.
Yeah. The old
Church ice cream socials are the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had oh my god, my father's work would have a
Yeah.
picnic, and it had along the Missouri River,
Mm.
and the mothers are like, "Don't go near the river! Don't go near the river!"
All
So
righty.
we'd get those ice cream in a tub thing with the wooden spoon. I love,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved those things.
This is great. They're brilliant.
You
They're
could eat
wonderful.
as many as you wanted. That was the great thing about the picnic. You could eat as many as you wanted.
Many as you wanted. Yeah, that was the same with the ice cream. It was like nobody said you've had too many. It's like, can I have another bowl? Yeah, have 20 bowls. We did too. We just ate it all. There was
Yeah,
never leftovers.
yeah.
It was the best.
So
Yeah,
my dysfunction of the week, besides this fly who keeps coming at my face,
yeah, yeah,
this fly who's obviously been stuck in here a while because I haven't opened the door because it's so hot,
yeah.
just keeps coming for my face. Um, no, my
Don't be sick.
dysfunction is I had a callback for a commercial, and so we get there. I hate people that do this for auditions and for callback, especially for callbacks, because the callback is the casting director is watching you. Maybe a producer of the commercial is there, whatever. right? And they're watching you, and the whole point is to see if you can take direction,
Right.
and if you have a good comprehension of what they're telling you to do. But they give you instructions. That's fine. That's what it is, because you want to know that the person that you hire can do it this way, this way, this way, depending on, they don't have to
Right.
explain it to you a million times. What I hate is that they don't realize it's an audition.
Right.
This is not all of them. This is just one or two, but this one was like that, where they think that they're actually shooting the commercial. So we get there. I'm reading over the script, and the woman who is signing people in says, "Oh, that's not the script." And I said, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, that's not the script. They changed it."
That's crazy.
And I went, "It's not that many lines, so it's not a huge deal, but like, okay." And then the guy who's running the audition comes in and goes, "So you look here, they're in French. You look here,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you're like, wow, okay." And then this literally this is his direction. And I said, "So do I say there's nothing good to eat in here, right? You're looking in a refrigerator. There's nothing there's something like that. Like, what am I going to eat? What am I going to?" I said, "So I say, what am I going to eat? There's nothing to eat." And he goes, "No, there's a line that says there's nothing good in here." I said, "It says there's nothing great in here." He goes, "Yeah, something like that." And then you're looking in the fridge, then you look up, and you say, "Margaret," because your wife is there. "No, we're not going to use that. No." But then you kind of look at her, and her hair kind of looks like an egg. So you get the idea for eggs, and you say, and then you're like, "Oh wow, okay." I said, "We say, oh wow, okay." And I mean, I was trying to be really,
No, you're like trying to figure out what
but
the
all
lines
these
were.
other guys, the guys that are called back, there's five of us, are like, well, I
What?
said, "Do we say, oh, we've got eggs?" "Yeah, that's good to say that. It's going to be different." So okay, so then I walk in, and he goes, "And we're going to shoot it in different takes. So you're in the fridge, here you're standing up, here you're over here. So we're just going to go through it." And I was like, "Okay."
What?
So I
Yeah.
go through it, and he goes, "Okay, stop, stop. Like, that's one shot." I said, "So we're doing it in separate shots." So I finished one shot, and he goes, "Okay, go on." And I
Like
was like,
just
so these
that's very confusing.
it's the people, and I've had this for plays too, when I've auditioned for stage plays. They want you to do the performance right there. That's not the point of an audition. The
No.
point of an audition is, can you take direction? Do you have a
Right.
good understanding? Do you have stage presence? Do you have all of this stuff? It's not to do the actual production,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, that doesn't
You
make
haven't
sense.
hired me
Sorry.
yet. So I was
Yeah.
just, but I was really, it was a test for me to not get
Hmm.
angry. And I was like, "Oh, okay, okay."
Yeah.
Can I
You
put
just
my
have to
hand?
kind of go with the flow.
Can I put my hand on the refrigerator door and look over? And he goes, yeah, okay, okay." I was like, "This is a test on you being a casting director.
Yeah. Like, how am I going to be able to work with somebody who's
Suck
like
at
so
it.
unclear?
You suck at being a
Yeah.
casting
Yeah.
director. You're not even So then the director, the actual director,
Right.
is on an iMac, not facing me. So I'm used to them being on some sort of monitor where I can see them.
Right.
And all of a sudden he
Right.
starts talking to me about halfway through. And I was like, he goes, "So do less. It's not a big thing." And I said, "Oh, okay." It said comedy. So, and he goes, "Yeah, it's just funny that her head looks like an egg." I said, "Okay, okay." So I've toned it way down, but I said, "Hi, I'm Buck. I don't know where you
Yeah.
are. I hate that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Don't talk to me from someplace where I don't know where it's
right
coming from.
is that guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously I wasn't called back, but I mean I did a really good job, but I wasn't called back because first of all I saw the other people and they look because the character's name, which they changed, is
Mm.
Grandpa. So I'm not a grandpa. There were
No.
three other guys there that looked like a grandpa. I mean,
Yeah.
really looked like a grandpa. So, I mean, I'm sure that had something to do with it. I just never looked like that. I'm surprised they even called me back. But you don't change. He was changing it as we were
As
doing it.
as you're trying to audition. Yeah, that's goofy.
As we were doing it, he was changing it. Okay, now, okay, so don't do that. Let's try this. So what if and he's talking to the director, what if we open here and then it goes to here? And the director's like, okay. And I'm like,
We're not filming the commercial. We're not
wow.
figuring out what the commercial's gonna look like. We're trying to get
First of
it
all,
casted. Yeah, that's
it
goofy.
makes them look like an idiot.
Yeah.
It makes
It
them
makes
look
them look
like
like
they don't know what they're
amateur.
doing. Yeah, it makes it look
Yeah.
like amateur. So that was my dysfunction of the week. So
Or it's their dysfunction more than
yeah,
yours.
it was.
Yeah.
I was very proud though that I didn't get upset.
Me too. That's always it's always good to be able to like manage those angry feelings in a way that feels effective for
Yeah,
you know.
because I could feel it coming up. Because he was like,
Yep.
"No, no, you keep going," or "No, stop
Okay.
here," with no instruction to do any of that beforehand. No, stop
Yeah.
here. And I
All
was just
right.
like, "Okay, okay."
Do
But
whatever.
inside, it was
You're the
like
director.
this
So
anger comes up. So today we're going to talk about anger, actually.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
anger is, I think, for me, anger is not having control.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a big part of it, don't you think?
That comes up. Yeah.
Not having
Well, go ahead.
not having control, not
Right.
liking what somebody's doing or saying, or
Right.
not thinking that they're not complying with you, that they're not
Right.
working with you.
Right. I think it's like you have an expectation for how the world, how your life, how other people are going to be, and you go into a situation and your expectation is either not met or it's totally different than what you expected or somebody isn't, something is really unsatisfactory about it. So, I mean, a lot of times that's what anger is too, is that you are not behaving in a way that makes sense to me, so therefore I don't know how to respond to that. And all I know how to do is, and my anger comes, and then it becomes a matter of like, what am I going to do with that anger and with the situation that's like not what I expected and not what I anticipated and is not in my control. I
Right.
mean, that all sort of goes together,
I think for me, it really started. You got me thinking. When I was little, my parents
Hmm.
were very verbally and physically abusive, but you
Right.
never knew when it was coming.
Right.
So
Right.
I tried to learn all the rules. This would prevent this from happening. This could this could be a way to defer it, deflect it. This could be a way to,
Right. To make it less bad or
right,
whatever.
right. But if I knew the rules, and like I said before in one of the previous podcasts, that like sometimes I would fall asleep listening at the door of my bedroom. I would like
Yeah.
sleep against because they would be discussing what they were going to do to me or my brother or whatever like that and what it was going to be. So I get upset. I get angry when I feel like I am following the rules and there are
Hmm.
rules and other people are getting away with not following the rules or
Yeah. That's frustrating. Yeah.
change the rules. Like in
Right.
this callback, they changed the rules. I think
Right.
part of it too is someone told me once that I get upset, I get angry because I have expectations.
Yes. Yeah.
You
That's the other
expect
thing.
people to act a certain way. If you act a certain way, you expect people to act a certain way. I have
Right.
an expectation about friendship. If I'm
Right.
really there for them, I want them to be there. Not realizing that everybody has their own capacity of being a friend.
Right.
So I made my peace with somebody who I was friends with in college, and she's just not a good friend. I mean, she's there once in a while, but she's not going to be somebody who calls you that you have a regular, and if you needed her, she would not be there. She would
Right.
not be there.
Yeah.
That's just kind of, and I have a friend, a Fire Island friend, that was like that too, where sometimes he was really needy and you wanted to hang out and, go to parties that I was going to, blah, blah, blah. But if I turned around and did the same to him, he would just be like, what?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's done some pretty nice things for me in the last couple of years with my teeth and stuff. He's my dentist, or was. So he's come around that way. But I would get really upset with people because I was like, I'm being nice. I'm being a good friend. I'm being a. So, and the thing with anger for me is I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't.
That's the rub. Is like, well, and especially for women, we get socialized that anger is ugly and not okay, or you should be nice, and um, you know, I and then it's like it's as if like women are not supposed to have anger at all,
Right.
and I think a lot of times that's why women get accused of being catty or passive aggressive or undermining things, because we're told it's not okay for you to express anger or to be angry, and to even be angry is not okay.
Right.
I think that happens a lot in society just in general, that it's not okay to be angry, but anger is just something that happens. I mean, you can't like not get angry. If something's going to make you angry, it's going to make you angry. And the problem is being aware of the feeling, being able to like at least tell yourself that it's okay to be angry, and then to find ways that are effective ways of managing that anger and expressing that anger.
Yeah,
And
I can't do
if you
that.
don't get taught, like, how are you going to know how to do
Right. So tell me how.
that? Well, part of it is realizing that anger is okay. It's not bad to be angry. It's just a feeling, just like any other feeling. And then remember that you can choose. You don't get to choose to be angry or not. Anger just happens, but you do get to choose what you do with it and where you go with it. So you can choose to like, if somebody cuts you off in traffic and you're mad because you're trying to get somewhere, you can choose to ram them with your car. That's okay. I mean, then you can have all the repercussions of that. You can choose to like flip them off and possibly have them come and try to shoot you. Or
Right.
you can, here's what I do is I smile, I wave, and under my breath, or not even under my breath, because if I'm in my car by myself, I
Right.
go, fuck you very much, or
Right.
something like that. Or I'll flip them off underneath, my so I find ways to express that anger in a way that's safe for me and the cars around me.
Right.
But it doesn't, and the thing about it is, I'm not excusing other people's behavior, but there's definitely a time when it's that you just need to let it go. Like there's no easy way to actually let a person who cuts you off know that they pissed you off without creating drama and possibly a bad situation. So
Right.
you have to assess like what is going to be effective for me in this situation. Do I absolutely need to make that guy know that he's an asshole? I hate that when I'm driving with somebody and they do things like tailgate that person that pissed him off. It's like, let it go. Why do you want to like try to make things less safe? You
I've
know?
done that. I've done that.
I know. And my husband did it once, and I was like, get out and quit it. Like,
Yeah.
well, he was doing, I don't care. You don't even know, you don't know that person. You don't know what their situation is. Maybe they're always an asshole. Maybe they've made a bad driving decision. Let it go. You're
Yeah.
not proving anything. You're not making things better. So I remember my dad used to do that because he had a horrible temper with stuff like that. It's not safe. That's not a positive way to like express your anger. But it's okay to want to. It's okay to want to do that kind of stuff, you know?
I
So,
took off in West Vancouver. This Tesla
yeah,
uh, passed me on the right on the shoulder
it's so horrible. Yeah,
and
just
cut right
terrible.
in front of me. And we're moving. We're not stuck in traffic. He just
Right.
did that. So I like took off, and I was following him like really, and I could see that he was scared because he was dodging in and out of traffic, and I was just like,
Trying to avoid you.
I'm gonna get
I'm
you.
on you, baby.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get you. And I got right up to him, and then I went, what are you doing now? What are you gonna do
Right. You
now? What are
caught
you
it. It's
gonna
like
do?
a
I mean,
dog
he
trying
was
to catch a
looking at
car.
me. He was looking at me, and I knew that he saw me, and
Yeah.
that he realized that I was really pissed off at him. So I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe we'll never do it again, but it was dumb because I actually
Yeah.
missed my stop. My I missed my
Yeah. Because you were so focused on that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like this is really stupid.
Yeah.
My thing with anger though is sometimes I mean I try not to let it out that much. So I'm not good at that, but when it does come out, it's disproportionate to the situation
Right.
that
Right.
set it
Because you
off.
could be mad. You've been mad for several days about several
Right.
things and never expressed it. And then Mario comes home and he doesn't put the lid back on the toothpaste, and you suddenly are raging at him about it
Right.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you kick the dog or whatever it is.
And
You know.
I don't like myself when I'm angry.
Yeah. No,
I
it's
get
not because
really
it's
ugly.
not.
And you can see literally figuratively in your mind, you can see the words coming out of your mouth, and you
Yeah.
can't believe you said that. You know,
Right.
you just can't believe you said that. I'm better about apologizing now than I ever used
Good.
to be,
That's
but
good. That's a good thing.
uh, I wish that I had better control of it. And we talked about that when I'm not able to express my anger so much, it becomes depression, like it turns
Yes, that's
inward.
exactly right. Yeah.
Or even when I do express it and it's really ugly, I start to really dislike myself, so I become depressed. So finding good ways to express anger
Absolutely.
is, you
Yeah.
know, so I try to talk to Mario about things that upset me, and I try to
Absolutely.
be better about listening to him. But he flies off and stuff. He came home yesterday, and from a trip, and he was like, "Oh, look at the bedroom." I don't even know what it was because I made the bed. So I was like, "What?" He goes, "Oh, the air conditioning is dripping. We have one of those portable air conditioners, which I hate. It
Yeah.
doesn't really work that well. I'll have to get a new one next year, but right now it works okay. But it leaks water, so you have to have a towel around it. And I had a towel around it, and it was dry. And he goes, "What is this? Why is this?" And I said, "Oh my God, you just come home and yell. What
Yeah.
is that?" And he's like, "Well, I'm tired from the trip, and people were bad drivers, and you know." Everyone's a bad driver, according to him. He's always got his hand ready to up for the horn.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, just relax. But um, in that sense, I'm a better driver because I just I don't get that upset unless somebody really
That's
takes.
something really stupid.
I was thinking about that. You worked with a lot of kids,
Yep.
so and you worked with kids that were in foster homes or removed from their
Yeah.
parents,
All kinds of things. Yep.
stuff like that.
Divorce
And so
situations, all that stuff.
I'm guessing that you had a lot of angry kids.
Yep. Yeah.
And so how did they show their anger? I mean, I guess a lot of
Well,
them were just
the
really
same ways that a lot of people do. I, you know, there's dysfunctional and functional things, and a big part of therapy is helping kids understand that number one, like I just said, it's okay to be mad, and how are we going to show that we're mad without like getting in trouble? Because
right.
for kids, especially, or doing something that they're going to regret or that's going to hurt them. So
Well,
we don't want things
they
like
act
pardon.
out. They act out.
Yeah, they act out. They act out. They throw things, whatever. So, we what we do is we try to make sure that they know like that the anger is there and it's okay, and they might need to like figure out what they're gonna do with it, and then the next part is like, well, what are some of the things we could do? So, uh, you know, uh, there's things like you can take balled up socks and throw the socks at the wall and say all the things that you're mad at while you're throwing the socks at the wall really hard. You know,
Right.
you can go outside and hit a tree. With the baseball bat, or you can. In fact, I was working in Danville years ago, and this kid and I were like working on being mad, and I had a pool noodle or something, not a baseball bat because it wasn't that hard, but we were hitting a tree and saying what we were mad about, and somebody drove by and said that was so awful that I was having her hit the tree, and I was like, she's been hitting her mom and her sister, so I think hitting a tree is a better
Right.
choice, you know. So, and the best choice would be to be able to say things like, I am so mad at you, and use your words. That would be better. But
Right.
a lot of kids can't get there, or that's not enough. They need to feel like they're hitting something, or, you know, and what you don't want to do is that isn't necessarily the place where you want to go to right away. Because, you know, they used to have like those bobo bags, the blow up bags that you can punch out,
Right.
and actually that can just increase your anger if you're an aggression, if you aren't in a place where you can kind of understand why it's going on, you know, if you're just doing it to do it. So you know, so you want to make sure that there's that you're telling them it's totally okay to be mad, you totally get it, that happens, and you know, and anger is fine, but now we need to figure out where we're going to go with it and
Yeah.
what we're going to do with it. So, and I actually, I worked with this lady in Kansas City a long time ago too, but she said she used to go to like the thrift stores and buy like old dishes. And then she would go to like a alley or somewhere like that, and she would throw the dishes at the wall because she really liked the way it made her feel when something broke. But she didn't want to break her good stuff. So
Right.
she bought cheapo dishes and she broke them, and then she'd clean it up. And if it was the alley and it was messy anyway, she'd just leave it by the trash or whatever. So, you know, there are things that might sound like they're not so great, but they work, they're better than
Yeah.
like going off on somebody or hitting somebody or breaking some, you know, hitting the wall and breaking your fingers or whatever it is, putting a hole in it, you know. So find something that, you know, because like, so when you're mad, where do you feel the anger in your body? That's another thing to be aware of.
I feel it
Like,
here.
you feel it in your chest, in your arms, in your heart, kind of.
No. Yeah. Right. Right below my heart.
Oh, so your solar plexus kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what would feel better to you? Would it feel better to like, does it feel best to scream obscenities and stuff like that? Because I could see it like being like, you need to let go of that air, you know, like, you know.
Yeah.
So, because it might be something, if you can tie into like where you feel the anger, to have the anger come from that place, and it might be something like a, you know, having a primal scream somewhere or whatever, you
Right.
know. And you can go in your car and you can scream in your car, or you can get a pillow and scream into the pillow, and the pillow will muffle those screams, you know. And
Right.
if that's something that feels better to you, and once again, like any action that you decide will work for you, you have to figure out if it's a better option than what you've been doing, or if it's maybe not so good. You know, maybe
Well,
going and screaming,
I swear a
I
lot,
can't
and I
stand it anymore in somebody's face isn't so great, you know.
yeah.
But screaming into a pillow might be okay. Yeah,
Sometimes you're going to say things that you shouldn't have said, and sometimes you're going to react in certain ways that you know you shouldn't
yeah,
react. But I think that I guess you learn a little bit, like I
yeah,
learned just from talking to you today about
sure,
how to deal with
yeah.
it. I mean, I think for me, going to the gym helps a lot.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You know,
You know, and you could even take it a step further when you're at the gym and when you're working out, like to say, I am pissed. I am pissed. You know, like you push with you're doing your whatever it is, you're doing a push up and you just go, I'm pissed about it. You know, it doesn't have to be anything in particular, but just to like be able to say it in your head. Or even as you're walking, like with every step, go, I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm
right,
mad, you know, in your head. That's because that is going to help you feel like you're getting out some of that energy that is the
right.
anger part. So yeah,
It helps you connect to it too. Like
absolutely.
when I work on an audition or a role, I will work on it a lot at the gym because you physicalize it to get to
Right.
the emotion. If you're just standing there with the lines going in your head, you're not connecting to it. If you're trying to be analytical about it, which you have to be in part of the
Right.
process,
And
but
some
if you're
sometimes.
analyzing why they do what they do, who they are, that kind of thing. But there's a point where you have to physicalize it, like you have to get on the treadmill or you have to get with
Yeah.
the boxing, with the you have to get some gloves on and do some boxing, or like you
Yeah.
said, like with push-ups or something like that. I do that with lifting for chest. I will do
Yeah.
that. So I will go through this where, and then you connect to the emotion. The emotion is there because
Yeah.
you vocalized it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's a way
You
to
feel it
connect
in
to
your
it.
body. You feel where you
Yeah,
feel it in your body and use that.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
trying to work it out to get it out of you. But I
Yeah.
don't know if it ever really gets out of you. These, you know,
Well, I mean, anger kind of resides in our psyches and our heads, and there's always anger somewhere about something.
right,
So, I mean, but I think it's not about like getting it out so much as it is being aware of it and then being able to express it somehow or other. And if there's a place where you can talk about it with somebody who either is the person who made you angry or the
right,
person who is there who can understand why it would make you angry, that kind of stuff.
or
And then
therapy.
the rule of thumb in play therapy is what you do is sometimes not as important as what you do after what you did, which means like sometimes when you've had a really, you're really mad or whatever, it's the important part is how you're going to manage it afterwards. So being able to apologize, like you were talking about before, or to just say, I know I need to do things differently, or to make amends somehow. I mean, that's why AA has you make amends. That's part of it, because you've done things that have been hurtful. So, and people remember that you made took corrective measures.
Right.
So that's a big part of it, and do that for yourself too.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times you're angry at yourself, and then instead of saying it's okay, you had a bad day, you'll do better next time. It's very easy to go, well, I'm just an asshole who's a terrible person because I have
Right.
anger issues,
Right.
and that's not
I
useful.
never get any better. But I think
Right?
I am getting better. I just
Yeah,
don't have it.
absolutely.
It doesn't come out as much as it used to. And also, I've talked about that. I've kind of removed myself kind of from any situation that it could come up.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of, it's kind of boring, but it's also, I don't have those situations where, this has to be done. Somebody's bothering me to do this.
Right.
Why isn't this done? I'm upset because somebody didn't do what they needed to do to get this production going. And so I don't have that. So,
Right.
which is it's kind of good. It's kind of allowing me to heal a little bit. But sometimes you just have to remove yourself. If you know that certain situations, certain um,
Our triggers.
things that you want to do in life just are bad for you because you get upset all the time. The thing is, you just have to remove yourself from it. I mean,
Right.
eventually
Right.
maybe I'll go back to it, but right now, it's just I got
Yeah.
so angry when the last production failed. I
Yeah.
got so angry, and I got angry at people who were supposed to be on my production team and didn't really support me and I didn't really know what was going on. They weren't
Yeah.
forthcoming. And I was supposed to meet one of the production people, and we had a plan to meet, and it didn't happen. And I still don't know what's going on. And I just had to, when I
You had
came
to distance
when I
yourself.
moved back to Quebec, they offered me a supporting role in an opera, and I went. I went to one of the rehearsals.
Hmm.
I saw the song. I started to learn it, and then I just went. I came home and I said, "No, I'm not going to do it because I'm going to get
Yeah.
upset because the quality. I love her, the woman that's producing it, but her quality of production is they're good singers. They're always good singers, but the thing is, the quality, like the sets and so, it's always really bad.
Yeah.
It's always just really kind of whatever we can find at a thrift store kind of thing. There's no
Yeah.
real set. So it's just, I'm going to get upset about that. I'm going to get upset. So the thing is, I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to learn this. It's a classical opera, so I'm not really that into it. I like new operas. So I just took myself out of the situation. I just told
Yeah. That's probably
I don't
smart.
want to do it. I don't really want to be around people, and I don't want to put myself in that situation where I'm going to get upset. And she was like, I totally understand.
Yeah.
a cold
Absolutely.
hand. She goes,
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of it too is self-care and to not commit to something that you don't really want to do just because you feel like you ought to or because you feel obligated, whatever. You're not. You can always say no and setting limits and saying no when you really don't want to do something or when you started it but then it doesn't work. It's okay. It's always okay to say no and
right.
to remove yourself from situations. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. If you know something's going to really upset you, then take yourself out of it. All right.
Right.
So I think we covered anger. It's
Yeah.
probably going to, I guess it'll come up in all the other
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely. Anger
So
always comes up.
next week, we're going to talk about grief.
Yeah.
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 And
Yep.
denial and anger, all the things that go into grief.
Yeah.
And
No,
so,
I want to say one more thing about anger that I should have said is whenever people think that anger is not okay, you have to remember that anger is very motivating. I mean, then when you're grieving about something and when you're sad about something or something is not okay, getting angry is not just like a thing that happens. It's something that can help you get motivated. I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, Mad Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Mad
right.
Candace, whatever her name was, I forget, was mad about drunk drivers. And so, I mean, I think that's a beautiful representation of how she took her anger and she made it into something that was very functional.
Right.
And we can all do that. So, just the thing to say is don't give yourself a hard time about your anger. Find out what it is that you're wanting to like kind of use it to motivate you to do, you know?
Okay.
When you're
Good.
in situations. So that's the last thing I want to say.
It's good advice.
So
All
next
right.
week we can talk about grief.
Right. So we'll see you next week. And
Yep.
till then, be well
Okay. We'll
if you
talk to you
can.
then. All
Bye.
right. Bye, everybody.